still bushed. Number 3, Gonzo-gate, the firing of those U.S. attorneys because they would not prosecute Democrats on phony charges of voter fraud. One of them was Todd Graves, ousted as the USA for Western Missouri because he ignored the demands of Bradley Schlossman of the Justice Department to sue Democratic state officials for not purging Missouri voters from the state rolls. That case was so onerous to the true believers inside the Bush administration that not only was Graves fired, but Schlossman was named to replace him. Schlossman, of course, the guy whose email thread proved he was hiring people for non-political jobs at Justice based entirely on their politics. It turns out this purge case, he went personally to Missouri to prosecute, thrown out of court. And now the appeal of that throwing out has been withdrawn by the Justice Department, the Obama Justice Department. Number 2, hypocrisy gate. Yesterday it was Ari Fleischer bashing the calling out of boss Limbaugh after Fleischer had called out, almost threatened Bill Maher in 2001. Now it's barbecue Karl Rove. This is the same old-style politics that we grew to really dislike in the 1990s, when the White House thought everything through a political perspective, road-tested it by running polls and focus groups, and did everything with a very keen eye towards the politics of the matter, not what was in the best interest of the country. The news here is that he said this on Fixed News out loud with a straight face. Degrees of difficulty that, if attempted by a sane man, would require taking 4 Xanax and hitting himself with a ball-peen hammer right between the eyes. Banning stem cell research, Carl, not political. Turning the Justice Department into the Stalinist purge police, not political. Putting the Democratic governor of Alabama in jail, not political. Terrorizing the nation to rationalize a phony profit-making war in Iraq, not political. Carl, to modify an old phrase, you're now an insult to your own intelligence. And number 1, war crimes gate. You may have heard that the International Criminal Court at The Hague this week issued a warrant for the arrest of the president of Sudan, Omar al-Bashir, for war crimes and crimes against humanity in Darfur. So Syracuse University international law professor David Crane, who prosecuted the former president of Liberia, Charles Taylor, at the ICC, says, hey, guess what? The legal principles and structure of this new indictment, the court could use those to draw up a similar indictment of President Bush. Don't go putting the flame under your Jiffy Pop on high quite yet. This country signed the statutes setting up the court in 2000. Bush unsigned them 2 years later. Of course, President Obama is now reportedly reconsidering re-signing them. Still, a reporter asked me today what I thought Mr. Bush can, could, or should do post-presidency, so I suggested looking into the political asylum laws around the world and the ones about extradition.